Hey fellas, grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let me tell you something that's gonna make you check your pocket change real quick. Have you ever looked at a plain old penny, just 1 single cent, and thought, this little guy right here might be worth more than my entire toolbox, or even my truck? No. Well, today, we're talking about a 2016 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1 million. Yeah, you heard me right. $1 million. And it's not made of gold, it doesn't have diamonds stuck to it, and it won't open your garage door with Wi-Fi. It's just a regular old penny, or so it seems. I'm gonna walk you through the story of this humble little coin, why it's worth so much, what to look for in your own collection, and a few personal stories that might hit close to home. It's a standard issue 1-cent coin. Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse. Union shield on the reverse. Mostly copper-plated zinc. And no mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. They don't put a mark on pennies made there. There are some very specific characteristics that make this particular 2016 penny extremely rare and valuable. And it's not just one thing, it's the perfect storm of minting mistakes, condition, and collector demand. Now let's rewind to when this penny was struck. The Philadelphia Mint, 2016. Nothing crazy happening, until a freak error occurs on the die used to stamp the penny. We're talking about a die clash, possibly a double die or misaligned strike. Some experts think this coin was the result of a damaged die that made it past quality control. This one penny came out with some very unique markings. You might see doubling on Lincoln's ear, strange textures on the Union shield, or even abnormal spacing in the lettering. Some say it's a blend of rare errors rolled into one. It's in mint state condition. That means it was never beat up by a cash register, never stuck in a kid's piggy bank, and never taped to the bottom of a bar stool for good luck. It's clean, shiny, and sharp, just the way collectors love it. Now I'll tell you what, I used to toss my pennies in an old coffee can. Didn't think twice about it. One day, years ago, I was watching a buddy of mine dig through his change like he was panning for gold. I laughed and said, "You expecting to find treasure in there?" He pulls out this weird-looking penny, had some strange luster and doubling on the words. Long story short, he sent it in for grading and got it back certified as a rare double die from 1984. That penny sold for $2,500. I was floored. Since then, I never looked at my change the same way again. Look closely at Lincoln's eye, ear, and Liberty on the left side. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. A glossy, clean shine with no signs of wear. If it looks fresh off the press, it might be a mint state. Any weirdness in the lettering, rim, or shield, things like misalignment, cracks, or clash marks. The coin must be professionally graded, ideally MS67 or higher, by PCGS or NGC. That's where the real value kicks in. Without a perfect grade and the right error, it's just another penny. But if you got the right one, you're looking at 7 figures. It all comes down to rarity and demand. The coin collecting world is full of die-hard folks who will pay huge amounts for coins with bizarre stories and rare features. Add in the fact that this 2016 penny is practically flawless, with a unique error combo that hasn't been found on any other, and boom, you've got collectors lining up to throw money at it. Also, keep in mind, there may be only one or two like it in existence. That kind of rarity? That's what makes auction houses go wild. That's why this one sold for a cool $1 million. Get it graded by a top agency like PCGS or NGC. Reach out to numismatic auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. You'd be shocked how fast coin collectors go from mild-mannered hobbyist to high-stakes poker player. When a coin like this shows up, I'm willing to bet, right now, there's a penny in your house worth more than 1 cent. Maybe not $1 million, but maybe $50, $100, or even a few grand. You probably had it in a drawer since the Obama years. Or maybe your grandkids handed it to you and you tossed it aside. Go grab your change jar, get a cheap magnifying glass, and go through those 2016 pennies. You never know. You might be sitting on your retirement fund. Point 1. Don't underestimate the power of pocket change. That boring-looking 2016 no-mint mark penny might be a millionaire in disguise. Point 2. Coins are way more than currency. They're tiny, shiny pieces of history. And sometimes, they're golden tickets. And 3. It pays to pay attention, especially when you've got a drawer full of potential gold mines. Next time you go through the drive-thru or grab some change at the gas station, take a second and look at those pennies. You just might find one worth more than your fishing boat. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and tell me in the comments what the oldest or weirdest coin you've ever found is. I've got a few more stories coming that'll make you want to raid every coin jar in the neighborhood. Hey there, fellas. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at your pocket change? You might be sitting on $1 million and not even know it. Today, we're talking about a tiny copper coin that's packing a heavyweight punch, the 1961 Lincoln penny. That's right, a 1-cent piece that's turning heads in the coin collecting world and recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.10 million. Stick around, because we're going deep into why this humble penny is worth so much, what to look for, and how one man found his fortune in a jar full of old coins. Now let me tell you a little story. A few years back, I was helping my dad clean out his garage. You know how it is, old fishing rods, broken lawn chairs, and a big jar of coins. The thing probably weighed 30 pounds. We were just about to dump it at the bank when I got curious. I started picking through it and boom, a 1955 double-die penny right in my hand. It wasn't worth $1 million, but it got me hooked. And that, my friends, was my gateway into the world of coin collecting. Ever since then, I've been chasing the thrill of finding the next big score. Which brings us to today's main event, the 1961 Lincoln cent. Let's rewind the clock to 1961. John F. Kennedy was president, gas cost 31 cents a gallon, and the Denver Mint was cranking out billions, billions, of Lincoln cents. The 1961 penny was supposed to be just another workhorse coin. It's got the good old Abraham Lincoln profile on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Made from 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Nothing fancy, right? Because among the 1.7 billion coins struck in Denver that year, a few came out with some jaw-dropping errors. And that's where things get interesting. Well, the rarest and most valuable versions of the 1961 penny are those that were struck off-center, have double dies, or minting defects that occurred during production. Point 1. Such coin, graded by PCGS as MS67 Plus red with pristine surfaces, sold for over $1.1 million due to its perfect strike, brilliant luster, and historical rarity. That level of quality is nearly impossible to find in a coin that's over 60 years old and made in bulk. But what really drove the value up was demand. High-grade Lincoln cents are incredibly hot with collectors right now. And when the right buyer meets the right coin, boom. That's how records are broken. What makes a coin go from pocket change to piggy bank explosion? That, my friends, is where coin grading comes in. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. The higher the grade, the more perfect the coin. If your 1961 penny has no scratches, full details, and that original red copper shine, it might just fall into the MS67 Plus range. Most coins in circulation are beat up and dirty. But if you've got one that's been sitting in a drawer, untouched for decades, you might be sitting on a gold mine. How do I know if I've got the $1 million penny? Here's what to look for. Mint mark. Make sure it has the little D under the date. That's the Denver Mint. Look for crisp details. especially in Lincoln's hair and the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Look for doubling in the lettering, especially in Liberty and In God We Trust. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. And don't clean the coin. Cleaning ruins value. Now let's talk numbers. Coin auctions are booming. Collectors are pouring serious money into vintage pennies. Why? Because these coins are tangible history. They don't just look cool. They represent moments in time. A high-grade 1961D penny is rare, but when it hits the auction block, there are always bidders lined up. Wealthy investors, old-school collectors, and even museums are competing for the best of the best. Values are trending up, and with copper becoming more collectible due to its increasing scrap value, coins like this are only getting hotter. Not every 1961D penny is worth $1 million. Most of them are worth just a few cents. Maybe a couple bucks in decent condition. But it's the outliers, the error coins, the mint state specimens, that rake in the big money. Think of it like baseball cards. A common card? Not much. But a pristine rookie card with a printing error? Jackpot.so. Don't toss your pennies without checking. It only takes one to change your life. The Lincoln cent is the longest-running U.S. coin design still in production. In 1982, the penny's metal content changed from 95% copper to mostly zinc. That makes pre-1982 pennies more valuable in bulk. Some collectors specialize only in Lincoln cents. Every year, every mint mark, every variation. Get your best find certified by PCGS or NGC. That's how you lock in real value. Remember that coin jar I told you about? Well, last Christmas, my cousin dumped out his own jar and asked me to check it. I laughed, figured it'd just be pocket change. But guess what? We found a 1961D penny with doubling on the date and lettering. Set it in for grading. It came back MS65 red. Not $1 million, but worth $3,000. Needless to say, he bought me dinner that night. Expensive steak too. Go check those drawers. Dig out that coffee can of coins. Hit the flea markets, garage sales, and grandma's attic. That one little copper penny could be your ticket to 6 or 7 figures. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more hidden treasure stories, and drop a comment below if you've got a 1961D Lincoln cent in your stash. Hey there, fellas. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked your pocket change? Be honest. If you're anything like me, you probably toss it in a jar, forget about it for 5 years, and then act like you hit the jackpot when you finally cash it in for $20. But what if I told you there's a penny floating around? Yep, just one little OL cent. That's worth a jaw-dropping $1.20 million, and not just any penny. I'm talking about the 2006 Lincoln penny, minted right in Denver. That's right, this isn't some ancient coin dug up from Roman ruins. It's a modern-day sleeper hit hiding in plain sight. So grab a coffee, maybe a magnifying glass, and let's dive into the story behind this small copper coin that could buy you a house, a truck, and still leave you with enough for a juicy steak dinner. Now let me tell you a little story. A buddy of mine, let's call him Jim. He's the kind of guy who hoards coins like squirrels hoard acorns. One day, he's digging through his change jar, looking for quarters for laundry, when he spots a weird-looking penny. "Something's off," he says. He tosses it under a lamp, gets out his reading glasses, and there it is, a 2006 penny with some unusual features. Turns out, that little coin wasn't just a lucky find. It was a treasure in disguise. That exact type of penny, under the right conditions, has sold for over $1.2 million. And Jim? Well, let's just say he doesn't use quarters for laundry anymore. He'd bought a new washer and dryer instead. All right, So what makes the 2006 D Lincoln penny so valuable? Let's break it down. First off, the D mint mark means it was struck at the Denver Mint. Now, millions of these pennies were made. So why the big fuss over one of them being worth over $1 million? The answer lies in errors, condition, and rarity. The coin that turned heads was a striking error, more specifically, a double die or a misalignment issue that caused Lincoln's features or lettering to appear doubled or off-center. In some cases, it's a wrong planchet error, meaning the penny was struck on a blank mint for a dime or foreign coin. This is the kind of error that's extremely rare, and when collectors spot it in mint state condition, that's where the real money starts flying. Your 2006 D penny from the couch cushions probably isn't going to make you a millionaire. The $1 million version? It was graded MS69 by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. That means it's virtually flawless. No scratches, no smudges, and sharp details from rim to rim. Out of the millions minted, only 1 or 2 coins have ever been found in that kind of pristine condition with the specific error that makes it valuable. As of this year, the top-selling 2006 D penny fetched a whopping $1.2 million at a private auction. Most collectors believe the price could go even higher as demand rises and more people get into error coin collecting. Say, an MS65 with a rare die variety can fetch anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000. So it's not just about the $1 million prize. There's a whole spectrum of value to be found. So how do you know if you've got one of these bad boys? Look for doubling on the Liberty or the date. 2006. Check if Lincoln's profile looks off, like a shadow or double outline. Flip the coin and check the memorial building for misalignment or strike-throughs, and if you find something that looks odd, don't toss it. Get it checked out by a pro. There are services that will grade and certify your coin for a fee, and trust me, it's worth it if you're sitting on a potential fortune. Collectors are a special breed. They'll pay thousands for a coin with a mistake the US Mint never wanted anyone to see. It's the thrill of the hunt, the uniqueness, the bragging rights. And when you're holding a penny that no one else in the world has? That's the stuff of legend. Now you might be thinking, this is cool and all, but I don't have time to become a full-time coin detective. And that's fair. But the truth is, these treasures hide in plain sight. That change jar in your kitchen? That random penny you picked up off the sidewalk? They could be holding more value than you ever imagined. Let me circle back to my buddy Jim. These days, he's a bit of a legend at coin shows. People line up to hear the story of how he turned a penny into a payday. And all because he was curious, took a second look, and followed up. Next time you're digging for spare change, take a closer look. You might just find your own 2006 D Lincoln penny with that magical $1 million error. And if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that are worth big bucks, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and ring that little bell so you don't miss out on future treasure hunts. Got a strange coin sitting around? Drop a comment and let's talk about it. You never know. Your coin might be the next $1 million star of the show. Hey fellas, have you ever held onto a penny and thought, this thing ain't worth squat? Well, think again. Because that tiny, copper-colored coin rattling around in your junk drawer might just be worth a small fortune. And when I say fortune, I mean $1.3 million. Yep, all for a 2018 D. Abraham Lincoln penny. That was just a few years ago. I've got a bunch of those lying around. Exactly. That's what makes this story wild and potentially very profitable for you. So grab your magnifying glass, maybe a cup of coffee or something stronger, and settle in. Today we're diving deep into one of the most mind-blowing modern coin stories out there. How a 2018 D. Lincoln penny, just 1 cent, turned into a $1.3 million prize. Let me take you back to a weekend not long ago. I was helping my buddy clean out his garage. You know the kind of place, boxes from the 80s, tools that haven't seen daylight in 20 years. And yes, old coffee cans full of coins. We're tossing stuff out, cracking jokes, when I pop open a dusty Folgers can and see nothing but pennies. He goes, "You can have those if you want. They've just been sitting there for decades." I took them home, dumped them on the kitchen table, and that's when I started noticing something strange. There was one 2018 D penny that just looked different. The color, the shine, the detail, something was off. So I did what any self-respecting coin nerd does. I jumped online, and what I found nearly knocked me out of my chair. This little sucker might be worth over $1 million. All right, let's talk about the Abraham Lincoln penny. This iconic coin has been around since 1909, first minted to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday. Since then, it's had some tweaks here and there, but it's still going strong as the gold is cent in our pockets. Now, in 2018, the U.S. Mint in Denver, hence the D Mint mark, pumped out millions of Lincoln pennies. So how on earth did one of them end up being worth $1.30 million? You see, most coins that come off the mint presses are standard, mass-produced, everyday coins. But every once in a while, a tiny mistake happens. Maybe it's a double die, an off-center strike, a wrong planchet, or even a rare metal composition mix-up. And those are the coins that collectors go absolutely bonkers for. The 2018 D penny in question. It's believed to have a highly unusual error combined with perfect grading, a double die reverse, extremely crisp detail, and it received a Mint State 70, MS70, grade from a top grading service. That's as flawless as it gets. It's the Ferrari of pennies. The D means it was minted in Denver, Colorado. Now, the Denver Mint is known for high production, but even in large runs, errors slip through. Some of these 2018 D pennies show a double image on the date and lettering. You may need a magnifier to see it, but collectors absolutely love this. Most coins you get in change are instantly banged up. But this one? This coin was untouched, uncirculated, and in MS70 condition, basically perfect. Rarity, only a handful of these error coins have been found. The combination of error plus condition equals extremely rare, and when something's rare and perfect in the coin world, the price doesn't just go up, it skyrockets because collectors are actually paying it. One verified auction had this coin on the block, and a bidding war broke out. A private collector snagged it for a jaw-dropping $1.3 million, setting records and sending shockwaves through the coin community. You might just be sitting on a gold mine. Well, a copper mine technically. Look for the D Mint mark under the year 2018. Inspect the details, especially the date, Liberty, and In God We Trust. Look for any doubling. Use a magnifying glass or coin loop. Even a smartphone zoom can help. Check the reverse side for sharp details and possible doubling on the Lincoln Memorial or Union Shield. If it looks good, consider submitting it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Now, let's be honest. Most of us toss pennies in a drawer or jar and forget they exist. They're the junk coin. The change you leave on the gas station counter. How many times have we walked past a penny on the ground and didn't bother to pick it up? If I had a nickel for every time I ignored a penny, I'd, well, probably have a lot of pennies. But now, I see a 2018 D penny, and I'm like Indiana Jones with a treasure map. I'm flipping couch cushions, checking old jackets, asking the grandkids if they've seen any shiny coins lately. My wife caught me digging through the coin return slot at the grocery store the other day. I told her, "Honey, I'm not crazy. I'm coin hunting." She just shook her head and said, "If you find $1 million penny, I want a new truck." But a rare error version in perfect condition can fetch $1.30 million. And remember, the only thing crazier than paying $1 million for a penny is realizing you had won all along and let it slip away. So tonight, when you empty your pockets or clean out that old jar in the garage, take a second to flip through those pennies. One of them might just change your life, and if you do find one, drop me a message. We'll celebrate with a steak dinner. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe if you're into coins, treasure hunts, and cool history. Share this with a buddy who always complains about being broke. Maybe he's got $1 million penny in his sock drawer. Hey fellas, welcome back to the channel that makes your pocket change feel like a treasure chest. If you've ever fished around in the couch cushions, checked under the car seat, or peeked in that old coffee can full of coins in the garage, well, hold onto your seat because today might change your life. We're talking about the legendary 1960 Lincoln penny, a humble little 1-cent coin that's now worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. That's right. The kind of coin you might have flipped into a parking meter back in the day could now be worth more than a house, maybe even 2 houses. So grab a cold drink, kick back, and let's dive into the story of how a tiny copper coin from 1960 is flipping the world of coin collecting on its head. Now, 1960 was quite a year. Elvis was still rocking. Ford was rolling out the Falcon, and a gallon of gas cost 31 cents. People were buying hamburgers for 15 cents and Lincoln pennies? They were just part of your pocket change. But among the millions of 1960 pennies that came out of the Denver Mint, a few were born different. These weren't just regular coins. They were error coins, rare varieties, and in some cases, they were so unique that collectors today are willing to shell out over $1 million for them. It's just a penny. How the heck is it worth that much? Stick with me, because this is where it gets good. Now here's where the magic happens. The 1960 penny actually comes in 2 versions, small date and large date. And they're exactly what they sound like. The numbers in the date are either smaller or larger depending on the die that was used. The small date variety was produced in fewer numbers, making it rarer. The Denver Mint struck both versions in 1960, and collectors go nuts over the small date because it's much harder to find. The real treasure is when you find a small date 1960 penny in mint state condition, with absolutely no wear and all its original luster. That's the $1 million baby. One of these pennies, specifically a 1960 small date Lincoln cent in MS 67 plus red condition, recently fetched $1.4 million at auction. It's graded by PCGS as mint state 67 plus red, basically flawless. It represents a transition in minting techniques. The demand has skyrocketed as more collectors hunt for high-grade coins. So yes, one of these could literally pay off your mortgage, buy you a brand new truck, and still leave enough for a fishing boat. Let me tell you a quick story. When I was a kid, my grandpa had this big old glass jar on the shelf in the garage, full of pennies. I used to sit there for hours, sorting through them like I was on a treasure hunt. At the time, I thought I might find something cool, maybe a weak penny or a coin from the 1800s. But now, looking back, I wonder if that jar had a 1960 small date hiding in it. And if it did, phew, I might have been sitting on over $1 million without even knowing it. Don't toss out those old penny jars just yet. You never know what you've got until you look. First, check the mint mark. It should be a D under the date. Look closely at the date itself. If the numbers are tightly spaced and the 9 and 0 are smaller than usual, that's your small date. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Don't trust your bare eyes. If you think you've got a winner, send it in to PCGS or NGC for grading. They'll verify the condition and give it a proper certification. That's your golden ticket if you plan to sell. Point 6. Where they're being found? 1 minute. Believe it or not, these coins are still being discovered today. Coin shows, estate sales, old coin jars, rolls from the bank, even thrift stores. One collector found a 1960 small date penny in a $25 box of pennies he got from the bank. That's like finding a diamond in a bag of rocks. So don't think the ship has sailed. The opportunity is still out there. Alright, gentlemen, here's the bottom line. That old penny in your drawer might just be your lucky break. The 1960 Lincoln cent, especially the small date variety in top condition, is $1 million marvel hiding in plain sight. And this isn't just about money. It's about history, nostalgia, and the thrill of the hunt. It's the story of how something ordinary becomes extraordinary with just the right twist of fate. So, the next time you get change at the gas station or crack open that old coin jar from the attic, take a closer look. Your retirement plan might be hiding behind a little copper coin with Abe Lincoln on the front. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling me what treasures you've found in your own collection. And if you've got a 1960 penny in your stash, take a good look. You might be sitting on $1.4 million and not even know it.